Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So we got this little clip about Joe Biden coming out and congratulating everyone who voted for him in Wisconsin. As you guys know, the Wisconsin primary was last week, right?
Yep.
And the results didn't come out until today, and it happens that Joe Biden won against Bernie Sanders by quite a lot, almost like about 20-30% or something like that. And so he made a video, he put it on his Twitter profile, and this is what he said.
Rules for administering the election. Thank you, Wisconsin. We're getting the results now from the primary, and it looks like we've done very well. But no other state in the nation has had to demonstrate the kind of courage you just did in your primary. You know, we often speak of the sacrifices that Americans are willing to make to protect our freedoms, including putting their lives on the line. We saw that American spirit last week in Wisconsin. It's a testament to how much respect people have for their cherished right to vote. And we saw that courage not only in those who came out to vote, but in the dedication of those who did the work of carrying out the election. We should applaud the state and the local election officials who had to carry this out under the most difficult of circumstances, adjusting to all the uncertainties about the scheduling of the election and the rules for administering the election. And we should honor the folks who staff the polling places. But as grateful as I am for your support, and as proud as I am of the commitment and courage shown by so many in Wisconsin, it never should have come to that. No one should ever have to choose between their health and our democracy. Instead, we saw Republicans willing to risk people's lives for their own political purposes, refusing to work with the governor to find an alternative solution to in-person voting last week. It was more than shameful. It put lives in danger unnecessarily. And I hope no one forgets what the Republicans in the state legislature did come November. You know, last week's primary in Wisconsin also sent a giant warning flare to the nation. We have to deal now, and I mean now, not tomorrow, now, with figuring out how we're going to conduct a full and fair and safe election in November. And that means providing our citizens with all the options for the exercise of their right to vote by mail and in person. If given the support they need, our state and local election officials can get this done. But Congress is going to have to be part of that solution, making sure the localities have the funding to meet the unprecedented challenges this election will face. Unfortunately, we're already seeing President Trump's attempt to undermine elections with unfounded claims about voter fraud, threatening to block essential funding for the coronavirus crisis. The people of Wisconsin have proven that Americans will risk their lives to protect our freedom and to exercise their sacred democratic right to vote. But no leader in this nation should ask that any American have to risk their lives. We can protect the public health and our democracy.
So there you guys have it, as Biden stating now the obvious that we've been trying to say for a couple of days now since before the Wisconsin primary. Even Bernie Sanders came out and said, you know what, people should not go out there and vote. Because obviously we have a pandemic and we cannot allow people to get sick. We cannot allow to people choose whether if they want to vote or, you know, save their lives. And he called it for to be postponed until further notice. And obviously Joe Biden didn't say anything. He actually said that he wanted to see what the experts had to say about this. When clearly the experts had...
Tom Perez always also said that.
Yeah, Tom Perez even said that too. And he said that he wanted the experts to say something about what's going to happen on Tuesday, the day of the primary, when experts had already been saying for fucking weeks to stay at home and to not allow people to go out there and gather massive crowds of more than 10 people. So I don't know what Biden was trying to say. Obviously, between the lines was like, I want people to go out vote, but I'm just going to call it out when it's too late. And people are already going out there. And that's exactly what happened on Tuesday, on afternoon Tuesday. He came out and said, people should not go out there and vote. People should not go out there and vote. All right? And obviously it was too late for that. And this is the fucking statement he puts in, actually blaming the GOP and Donald Trump himself. Because if you guys don't know, GOP and Donald Trump I also encourage people to go out there and vote for the Supreme Court position that was available in Wisconsin. And obviously, the results came in and the GOP lost, but it's not just about that. They're trying to just put all the blame on the GOP and Donald Trump. When clearly, Donald Trump, Joe Biden and the Democrats also have a huge responsibility for this thing to be allowed to. So, Kenneth, let us know. Let us have it. Come on.
Let's have it. Now, the thing is that this is a failure of leadership in general. This is not just a Republican or Democrat thing. Like both of them had their corrupt reasons for trying to get it. The DSC wanted Biden to win. The GOP wanted the Supreme Court justice to win, and so they told people to go out there and put their lives in danger. This should be a clear message that the politicians, no matter what side on, they don't care about your health. Like they don't care about if you have to die or not. They don't care how hard you have to work. I mean, this whole thing is to show you how corrupt the system is. I mean, you're in the middle of a virus. All these supposedly essential workers are not getting paid more. There's some the ones that are coming down with the coronavirus. They still have to pay for the treatment. They still have to get tested. They get as soon as they get sick, they get let off by their employer. Right, everyone in all the leaders are saying, "Hey, go out there." The Republicans are saying what last week and the week before that that you should go out there to restart the economy, even though the coronavirus is still raging. Now all these like the poll workers, like there were no poll workers in Wisconsin. I think there were like 5 polling places throughout the whole state that was active, and no one cared. Like that. This is what these guys are for. These guys are there for business, and they're there to line their own pockets. Okay, they're there for the 1%, which most of them are part of, right? And they're just there. And to them, your job is just to sacrifice yourself. Like that's it. If you're just another cog in the machine. If you break down, good riddance. We'll just replace you with a new cog, and that's what they want. That's why they give you just $1,200, despite the fact that in most places, especially the cities, that won't go anywhere. That's why they give companies because right now we're on a $6 trillion bailout, right? We're all together add up to $600, 600 trillion. I mean that's 600, $6 trillion, and out of that, you know, the American people, the corporations got about 5 trillion of that, and the American people got like the last 1 trillion, sort of.
Yeah.
And so,
No, no, keep going.
yeah, and that's what I remember. Some of if you get the check for $1,200, right, before and you did deserve it, they're gonna tax that money back. So in the end, you might not even got a trillion for the American people. And then on top of that, a story came out recently that said, guess what? Trump's businesses are gonna get the money anyway. So it's insane. Like it's not they're not there for you. They're not gonna help you. And so when they tell you vote for Biden, it's better than Trump, it's like you're talking a slight marginal difference, maybe. Like maybe depending on if they don't compromise it, right? Because at the end of the day, this is exactly what people are talking about when they say they couldn't vote for Democrats or Republicans. Because they both went out there, they put your life in danger. They both told you to go out there and sacrifice yourself. I mean, of course, the Republicans said, go out there to restart the economy, but both of them had corrupt reasons for carrying on the Wisconsin primary. It wasn't one party over the other. They both put people's lives in danger, right? And so that's what's the whole thing about it. So if you think that these people are there for you, I hope this robbed you of that notion.
Yeah, and then this is something that obviously the Democrats like to do oftenly, where they just like to just put a blame on something else. Obviously, the GOP does it as well. But unfortunately, in this case, it was so obvious that there was some like uh, either motives for the Democrats to also let the primary go on. Obviously, this is before knowing that Bernie Sanders was eventually going to drop out and then endorse Biden eventually. But it's disgusting to see that obviously politics in the United States in general always is put first above people's lives and also people's
I wouldn't even say it's politics per se. I would just say I mean politics necessarily. It's money. That's what it is. It's money. Because why did they want Biden to go out there and defeat Bernie Sanders so much? Because he could have threatened the system. Why they want people to restart the economy? Why they bail out businesses? Because those businesses are going to turn around, give them paychecks, bribe them off again, and screw over the American people. It's always been about money. That's why every time, if you think about it, right? Not a single politician this time around, except like Bernie said, right? And I don't even think he brought it up this time, has addressed the issue of money in politics. Think about it. That thing just went straight silent. Like you haven't heard it at all. The last time we heard it was like 2016 when Hillary Clinton said we're going to get dark money out of politics. It's like, why don't you just get money out of politics? Like that's clearly where everyone was. Republican, Democrat. That's probably the one issue where literally every non-politician in this country agrees, say, get money out of politics. And we're not talking about like 50%, 60. No, we're talking about 80, 90% of people say just get the money out of politics. And they keep trying to skirt the issue, ignore it, because we know what it's about. We know what it is about. Right? It's about themselves getting money. That's why they don't want it. Right? That's why every time you do anything to try to reform them, they don't do it. Like people been calling for term limits on congressmen and senators, never passed it. They've been calling for money out of politics, never passed it, never even addressed it for that matter. They People have been calling for a cut to make sure that whatever that the American people get in their health care, senators and congressmen get that too. Never voted for it. Everyone's been there's actually been a hilarious push to get the pay cut of all the people in Congress in the legislature, right? And they don't even entertain these ideas because it affects them directly. That's why. And so anything that
yeah.
affects them negatively, they don't even consider. They're like, whatever, I don't care. But anything that affects them positively, they're right there. Think about it, right? They they went on vacation, or they were supposed to go on vacation, right? For 3 weeks of paid vacation. I'm not adjourning to the legislature until the end of April, right?
Yeah.
Paid vacation. Remember when the government shut down? They
Uh-huh.
were still getting paid. Every part of the government shut down except them, and obviously the
Yeah.
president. They were like, and then they had nerve to come out there, and you got that one politician. I think she was Republican. She made an ad, and she was like, "I need my paycheck because I have kids to feed." And I'm just like,
The
"No, you
irony.
don't say." Yeah, it's like you
Yeah.
don't say. It's like that's how disconnected these people are, and that's why people want money out of politics because this is what this is about. They don't care about your life. They don't care about your property. They don't care about your job, your kids, your family. They don't give a shit if it does not make them money.
Yeah.
That's what it
If it doesn't
always has.
if it doesn't directly affect them, like you said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 'cause at the same time they were saying, "Hey, let's not raise the minimum wage." That same year, they gave themselves a pay increase. Like it's crazy. They said, "Oh, states can't afford it to give the people increased minimum wage," and then it's like, "Oh, let's vote to give ourselves a pay raise, though." It's
Yeah.
like I thought we couldn't afford it.
Yeah, the balls
It's
behind that shit.
crazy.
Like it was like imagine
Yeah.
people actually going out there and protesting, saying we need a minimum wage increase and all of this, and they fucking deny it in their faces. And after they do that, they increase the fucking payout for themselves. And it's like wow, and they
What?
do it all the time for every issue. And guess what? They don't. It doesn't matter. They don't care
Yeah, they
because
have more vacation time than most people. They
They
get
get
paid
paid.
decently than a lot of people. Um they get some of the best healthcare in the country, paid for by the government, 100%, right? And you say, hey, can everyone else get the same healthcare? No. Can everyone else get a pay increase? No. Can everyone else do X, Y, Z? No. Can we do it for you? Hell yeah. I guarantee you what. Make two movements, right? You can make two movements. Have one group of people be like, hey, we the senators need to get paid double. I vote the senators need to get paid double what they need to get paid right now. Whatever the senators get paid right now, double it. And they make a protest about that. Say protest like the senators don't get paid enough. I guarantee you within a week that bill will be passed. I guarantee you. But then if you go out there and say, hey, Minimum wage workers don't get paid enough. You need to double what they pay. They be like, nah, it's cool. They can't
Yeah,
afford it.
yeah,
Like, I guarantee
yeah,
you.
yeah. Yeah, I think it's the hypocrisy is one that most of these people are just outrageous. And this is something that obviously is also for every other issue out there. And unfortunately, until we get money out of politics or until we stand up to these people, nothing's gonna be done about it.
And it's crazy too because all these people are incompetent. They haven't created jobs. In fact, we've lost jobs because of them. The response to the coronavirus was just pitiful. Like just completely pitiful. Like because think about everyone likes to talk about Trump didn't do this, but neither did the states. Like the states didn't do anything either. So a lot of the governors and all that they were just as guilty to blame. Trump Trump is to blame, and every governor is also to blame. Like it's a sad thing. And yet somehow they still think they deserve raises and vacations and bonuses and all that other BS. It's amazing. It's amazing, really.
Yeah, well,
And remember, they took the military war the government about this in 2017, so they had plenty of time. Yeah, they had plenty of time to prepare. They chose not to. Right? That's what it's about. They chose not to.
like they always do, like they
Yep.
always chose not to do the right thing when it makes sense. And then later on, obviously, just like Donald Trump, it's like, no, I've been on top of it. I've been there in the trenches, doing trying to pull out a Bernie Sanders. But that's just the hypocrisy in politics in the United States, and that's just the kind of bullshit we have to deal with every day. And every time they want to
Yeah.
call it out, it's just like, nah,
To be
shut the
honest,
fuck up.
I wouldn't even just say the United States, but you have a lot of countries that are just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
incompetent.
No, just politics in general. Just in every other country, you're gonna find these people like this, and
It's
that's the
of
saddest
course,
part.
like always, the average person has to pay for it. The selflessness of average people have to go punished by it simply because a lot of these politicians they get their shit together, and that's the saddest part about it is that you're gonna have to have nice people sacrificed at the altar again for like the 800th time just because the politicians are so corrupt that they were focused on lining their pockets instead of keeping people safe.
So there you guys have it. That's what we got to know about what Joe Biden did and the Republicans do on a daily basis when it comes to choosing their own interest and obviously the corporate interest over people's lives or over people's ultimate will, if you were to
Remember,
say
guys,
that.
Jared Kushner said it. These are our ventilators, not the government's. Even though the government paid for it, these are our ventilators. I'm pretty sure he met himself and his rich friends. And then Trump had to run damage control. I F them.
So let us know what you guys think about this. What do you think about Joe Biden's response? Is he lying? If not, let us know down below. And also make sure to check out the channel and stay tuned for more content that is coming up in a few days. Thank you.